When your choice, class, and taste says luxury, visit JTS Luxury Home. With our spring into summer sale, all overstocked items must go. We stock a wide assortment of modern furniture, bedding, and home decor. The sale runs into midsummer or while stocks last. JTS Luxury Home, 467 Thomas Boylan Street, between Pitkin and East New York Avenue in Brooklyn, where opulence meets affordability.
Yeah. Right along live. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Tuesday on the ride. How you guys doing? As you come in, guys, share the thing and say I share. Share the thing and say I share. Today. Very interesting conversation. All our conversation are interesting, right? But this one in particular is very, very interesting. We have the minister. They say one of the hardest working minister. He gets bipartisan support on both sides. Andy Williams is here. Yes. And we have a lot to talk about, guys. We have a lot to talk about because I'm sure you guys heard about some funding that was supposed to be received that didn't receive. And, you know, the blame started to go around and people started to ask questions and a lot of things. In fact, I've been hearing so much about this thing. I wanted to get to the ground level. I wanted to get to the full understanding, ground zero, as to what is happening, what actually happened, what transpired. Now, yesterday while we was on the program, we had breaking news put out by the GIS that the government of Grenada was somehow able to negotiate and get almost 16.5 or so billion pounds, not billion, lot of God, if it was billion, million pounds. And we need to understand it. So again, we have the Minister of Implementation that's going to be here speaking with us. And also, guys, he spoke today in Parliament. Very interesting Parliament sitting today. So a lot to discuss. And of course, we open up the phone lines from the beginning so you guys could ask your questions as well. Now, let me say this, guys, because I saw it, someone sent me this message and they say, but why is it that, you know, we see Andy, we see minister of this, we see minister of that, and why don't we have more of an environment where we have both sides, opposition and government, speaking to us on the program, on the platform? And I'll tell it to everyone, like I said to this person, I will speak to anyone that willing to speak to me. There is no, listen, I will speak to anyone. You guys understand this. And from the beginning, I've put out a call for anyone and everyone who wishing to share their story or speak to us in terms of an issue, agenda item. Let us talk, right? And that is still open. That is still open, but we have not yet gotten any traction on it from the opposition side. So let me say it one more time. We are putting the call out there. If any member of the opposition wishing to speak to us on anything that they want to clarify, they want additional airtime to speak to our audience about it, we are ready and open to speak. I am going to speak to anyone who willing to speak to me. And that is another call that I'm putting out there. So it's not that I want to speak to, or I like to speak to Andy Williams, and nothing wrong with Andy Williams, nothing wrong with speaking to Andy or anybody else on the government side. But again, we like to get all sides. All right. So open invitation. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Right? Exactly. All right, guys. So let's go right in, because I think that I don't want to waste any time. I know the minister just ran from an engagement and literally ran straight onto the set. So let's go right into it. Minister, Honorable Andy Williams, how are you doing, my friend?
I am very well, Junior. I'm very well.
Nice. Well, first of all, I saw your presentation in Parliament today. We're gonna get to that and try to understand what all this conversation has been all about. But before we go there, let's go back to New York. 2 weeks ago, you were in New York. You were here to witness the launch of Spice Mass here in the diaspora. What was your takeaway from everything that you saw?
Well, New York was just amazing. The energy was there. And, the people were really excited that we brought that to New York. And it was the first time. And we were welcomed with open arms, and everyone received us. It was just great. And what I love to see is the passion of the Grenadians living in New York. To me, they were more excited than us. And it showed from the event, because in the launch, it was sold out.
Yes.
And some that it had more people outside than people inside. So it just goes to show that next year should be bigger. Next year, we should get a bigger venue, because it will be even more exciting. So I was impressed with what I saw in New York. And if that is an indication as to what we are going to see with this carnival, then we can prepare for a really big Spice Mass this year.
Yeah. How do we put this type of engagement now into practical, into money? How could we convert all these eyeballs? Because based on the viewership that we received, there were over 40-something thousand people that watched that. And the day before the meet and greet, that was also televised. It had over 30,000 people that watched that. How do we now put those numbers into practical sense to continue to get people, hyped up and energized to come down to Grenada? What's your take in keeping those engagement and turning that into money?
Well, first of all, before we even start thinking about money, what we have to really be critical about, though, is ensuring that we have a good product.
Right.
And this year, because once you have a good product, people will come, and you can get avenues now to make money. I think last year, one could argue that we did not have the best product. And I think Spice Mass this year decided to do the best to ensure that we have a good product this year. And, we met with them as a cabinet last week for them to tell us their plans and how they want to go about doing it, because we want to ensure that we have a really good carnival this year. And one thing I want to really, applaud Spice Mass on is the fact that they increase the prize money for the artists and so. And this is very important, because I remember talking to some artists some years, even before I got involved in politics. And they were saying, Andy, after the competition, we were left in debt. And if that was to continue, people will, even though they have a good song or so, they may not want to go into competition, because, if you're left in debt, then it makes no sense. No one is going into business to make a loss. So the fact that Spice Mass listened to the cries of the artists and so, and decided to increase the prize money, I think was a step in the right direction. The fact that Spice Mart decided to go into New York to build the momentum, I think it's a step in the right direction. And if we continue to build our product and have it be second to none, we can take the opportunities that are outside there. Remember that Trinidad did not have a Soca Monarch this year.
True. Barbados won't have one either.
Sorry?
Barbados won't have one either.
Exactly. And if you see where I'm going, if we were to really capitalize on that, I'm saying Grenada Soca Monarch can be one of the biggest Soca Monarch in the world, right? And I just want to applaud the effort that Spice Mart is really, and also the bands and everyone, because you can see the energy, and I love to see that. So once we build our product and we take the time to really grow it, then to me, money will come. So that's why I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think, and I like the direction. And you being there, we had 2 ministers here speaking and meeting with the people. That was really applaudable. And it was a real nice event. Let's go back. Let's now take a trip down to Grenada in reference to a couple of things that I saw while I was there. I saw the street lights was erected, and not only the street lights, I was seeing different cameras. I was seeing what we know across here as walk signs with the blinking signs. They was erected there as well. It wasn't turned on yet. What's the plans and what is it in terms of it being in full function? What date are we looking at?
Well, I don't have the date exactly right now, but I can tell you it will be turned on soon.
Right.
We plan to do the first one will be turned on in Grenville at the Paradise Bridge. That's where we will turn on the first one.
Yes.
Pretty soon. So probably next week after, you will hear in the news when we plan to do it. But we decided to, with the street lights, not just to put the ordinary lights that we had before, but to step up the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all part of the transformation, Junior. We can't be living in 2023 and putting up lights, that was in 2020 or
Yes.
or 2010.
Yes.
We have to step up our game, and that was the intention. And the street light is just one. But there are other things we plan to do to even control the traffic. Everywhere we have humps and so all over the place. But there are different things that we can do to control the traffic than humps. Mm-hmm. And cameras is a way that you can do it. In New York, I know, one of the guys was telling me, Andy, we could have gotten along much faster in New York, but because of the cameras, when you break the speed limit, you get a ticket in the mail.
Yes.
So for that, they are taking the time and drive. So if you go when you look in the US, there's hardly any humps. But there are other ways that you can use to regulate the traffic. Now, the problem with humps, Junior, is this. If you have a fire and a fire truck have to respond quickly, or an ambulance and they have to respond quickly, every time they take to slow down to go over the hump, is time being wasted. So it's just a different way of doing it and adding to the technology as we go along. And this is what we are about, adapting to the times we are in.
Mm.
Yeah.
So pretty soon we might be seeing speed cameras as well.
Yes, we are looking into it. Right, we are looking into it because, to me, that is what will help regulate the traffic, and people will be more aware. And instead of again having all these ancient things to control traffic, we can now be moving or using the technology and coming up to the times. And I think that is the intention of our government, not just to remain one way, but always improve as we go along. So you can see that happening.
Yeah. What about the cleanup campaign on the Kirani James Boulevard in that area there? How is that process going?
So we are now moving to the next step because We will be putting in some booths. It may start as early as next week. We will be putting in a gazebo there also. And we want to do some planting. Now, we wanted to wait for the rain season to start planting because we do not want to plant in the dry season and you have a challenge, in upkeeping the plants. So that was the idea. And now we see that the rain is starting to fall. The team is ready to start going out to do some planting. And not just the boulevard, but also the section that we cleaned close to Wall Street. Start doing some planting there also. So when you drive up, the whole place will be looking beautiful. And I was late for this session right here now with you because I was tired looking at places we can beautify. If people observe on the weekend, the Monash area, although we had a whole set of rain, it did not flood, right? I'm talking about the area in front of Kuyaba and so it did not flood because when you look at what caused the flooding, you have a bottleneck that is always created by the drain that leads out to the sea by spicing down there. And because sand blocks that drain up, the water cannot flow out. So when the water is not flowing out, it backs up. And then when it started back up now, it will back up into the road. Now that was cleaned and the water was able to go out into the sea. So although a large amount of rainfall over the weekend, the road did not flood. And I was just looking again at the area by KFC, the road when you enter by KFC to go to the mall, that road there.
Yes.
Now, because of how the road is and the gradient and so, water tends to settle in the road. And when people are passing through there, it's just a whole pile of water in the road. So we just looked at the Ministry of Infrastructure. Tomorrow, we are going to do a scope of works to remedy the situation so that when the rain season starts, that area, the water can flow into the drain and not flood the road, because that road is a crucial road. You have the mall there, and in the mall you have the banks, you have food courts, you have just name it. And it's a road that is being used regular by people. So that is just part of what we want to do in the Monash area. But the beautification process is always ongoing. And in next month, we are going to get some designs and plans from the TANSI students, which we are going to work on as a ministry. And this will take up not just St. George's, but the different parishes, St. Mark's, St. David, St. Andrew, St. Patrick's, just name it. And MIT will be in full force around the island doing the beautification and the cleanup. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Seamoon project, Pavilion project. Seamoon is a place that's very passionate to me because I remember as a kid growing up, that's kind of the location where I actually got my first start. I used to do extempo in there, and I love Seamoon. Seamoon is like a foundation for me, right? But I recognize there have been plenty of debate in terms of the project, the completion of the project.
Right.
And then we heard that the project was held up.
Right.
2 days ago, I saw some pictures that was some samples that was released by the GIS in reference to what it was supposed to be or what was set up to be, but what it is now. Straight, what is the problem? What was the problem with that Seamoon Pavilion project, and why was it held up, and what's the process? Where is that right now?
No, let me tell you what happened. Before we proceeded with the project, we asked to see the design of the project, and as a cabinet, we scrutinized the designs. When we looked at the designs, we saw a stage and a pavilion. There's no cover on the stage, so if you are performing, you will get wet. And if you are building a cultural center, it cannot be a pavilion and a stage. That is not a cultural center. Cultural center is supposed to be exactly what it says, a cultural center, where you can have your studios, your dancing theater, just name it. you know. And when we saw that, we were like, no, we cannot go ahead with that. That will not be injustice. That will not bring justice to the people of St. Andrews.
Right.
So we called in the person who did the design. We gave our input, and we asked them to do it over. And what you are seeing now, the new design. This is a new design.
This is a new design
for the cultural center.
Uh-huh.
And if you look at the pictures and so, you will see we put on it what certain aspect will be used for.
Yes.
So that people from that are involved in the creatives can feel more comfortable to come at that cultural center and be comfortable that center will really meet their needs and their standards. And we got professionals again to come in and give their input. So it's not just cabinet giving their input, but we got professionals who are in the field, creatives and so, to give their input. And this year, what you are seeing now is a combination of ideas from us and from the professionals. And to get consultation come in. So yes, we held up the project because we thought it was not adequate enough to be called a cultural center. And we put in different things. Because, Junior, if we are in 2023, we should be building a center that is something of the future. And it shouldn't be a center like 20 years ago. It should be leaning towards the future. And this center here reflects that, right? So I want to applaud the person who did the design. I want to applaud Mr. Ron Redden. I want to applaud the cabinet. I want to applaud the professionals who give their input, right? And because what we have now is a real cultural center, which we want to start building soon.
So what you're saying, what was there before? It didn't accommodate for cultural participation. What was it then? You say a stage?
And a shell. That's all. And that is not okay. You remember how Simon was before, where you have a stage and a pavilion?
Yeah, I remember.
But that is not a cultural center, right? No, that is not a cultural center. So what we have now is a room where you can have people who, the creators and so, we have a music room, dance room, just name it. Because culture have passed just, the era of just singing a calypso.
Right.
It involves much more than that. Now, if you want to practice or you want to learn certain instruments and so, Junior, what I'm saying is that center should be facilitating that. And if you look at it, you will see all the different dimensions that we put in there. That is just, much more than what was there before. If you see what was there before, Junior, you will be surprised. Let me just say that.
Wow.
Right.
When would is the estimated time that this new project here for the cultural center would be finalized, completed? Well,
this project was supposed to be started already, and I don't want to go into the details, but Junior, I can tell you, let me be straight up and honest, the details involving the contract and so of this project, it was a lot to be desired. Let me just say that. So again, this government believes in doing things the right way, and I don't want to really, dwell on the past and dwell on the negatives, right? I want to dwell on the positive. And the positive is that we will be looking to re-engage folks, have them do a tender and so that we can start this process going, because the people of St. Andrews need a cultural center. As a matter of fact, the people of Grenada need a proper cultural center, and we are committed in doing so. Okay. So that is the direction that we want to take on that.
Okay. All right, guys, if you just joined us, we're speaking here with Minister Honorable Andy Williams on everything. Specifically, we're going to get to that because I know you guys want to hear about it. In regards to the UK SIF funding, grant funding, that was reported that the government of the day lost or didn't do proper implementation over the months that they were at the helm of government to receive those funds. In fact, the former Prime Minister said this at a recent engagement. Listen to this.
How could you sit in government and you have a project that the NNP negotiated? Prime Minister James Cameron came to Grenada. He came to 2 countries in the Caribbean. You remember that? The Prime Minister Britain. And before he left, he announced almost $80 million grant for your little country called Grenada. It was decided by the cabinet, and Brother Bowen, the Minister of Finance, and of course Minister of Works, and so on. We worked together and decided that the Western Main Road project is critical. The water situation and the solid waste situation needs to be upgraded. So we decided, grant money, this is not money you have to pay back, These are money given to you. First time in my life I hear a country get over $80 million and they throw it away. No, seriously, most countries, they'll be called upon to resign, They throw away $70 million. Bowen said a while ago, everything NMP did, project, they open it now, and they're taking credit for it. But what they should take credit for is the loss of the over $70 million that was given by Britain to this country, and because of foolishness, lack of vision, pettiness, massive ego, we lost all that money. Sisters and brothers,
pettiness, ego, probably, I don't want to misquote him. I don't know if he said immaturity in there, but what happened? Why did the government of the day not implement what needed to be implemented to receive those money? Put this into perspective for us, Minister.
What is hurting me right now? Maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm someone who speaks my mind, I'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
What's hurting me, Junior, because I used to listen to this man. I used to be thinking, what's the man saying was the gospel truth? I mean, thank God my eyes open now. I mean, listen, Junior. Let's do some, let's really go back. And if I don't want anyone to like me now or to favor me now, let's just look at the facts, right?
Okay.
Let's just look at the facts. And let's see who's lying and who's not lying. Facts. He said that the Prime Minister of England came to Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2016.
Yes.
We got the grant in 2016. Junior.
Yes.
Folks, we got a grant in 2016. We lost the grant in 2022. Who was in office in 2016?
2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. You guys came in 2022. So the previous administration was in power at that time.
So listen to this. In November, we had a meeting with the reps from the UK, and they said that because of the low implementation, we did not implement, number one. And number two, of the constraints in the UK, they had to pull back on the project. Now, we came into office in June, July, August, September, October, November. 5 months into office, that is what we were told. Mm-hmm. But Junior, I'm saying, you had 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 6 to 7 years to implement, and you did not implement. So how can you be blaming us for losing the project? So I'm saying you don't have to like this administration. You don't have to like Andy. You don't have to believe Andy. But I'm saying let's look at the facts. That grant was given in 2016. And again, people like to blame COVID for everything. But COVID came in 2020. So you had 4 years before COVID to implement the project, and you did not implement the project. Western Main Road, same thing. And let me tell you, Junior, and folks, you know what we had to do? You know how we got back that money? Let me tell you how we got back the money. We had to prove that we were operating in a different manner than the last administration. We had to prove and to show UK that we have a Ministry of MIT right now that will ensure that implementation is at its best. We have to give them confidence that we put things in place so that we can implement this project again, and it's a different administration. That is how we got back the money. If it was business as usual, if it was the last administration that was there still, there is no way we could have gotten back that money. And we were able to convince them, and that is why we got back the 16 million pounds that we got back now.
Yes.
Right? So
two things that was said there. Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
But I'm just no. Listen, I don't really listen to Dr. Mitchell in this meeting as well. And I'm saying if that is what Dr. Mitchell is saying to the people who he's meeting with, I'm really sorry for them. He have to stop to check himself, Junior. And I'm saying this not in a negative manner, but we have to stop trying to fool the people like that. You know that the project and so was in danger under your administration. Why try to fool people and tell them it's the other way around? Is it because you want to paint the next side bad? So we just lie at any expense? No, we can't keep doing that. And I'm telling the people who he's listening to, when you hear these things, just go and fact check it. And fact check it and see. And also, Junior, to the media. Because, and let me address this here, because I'm seeing the media going behind all kind of everything else except verifying these things. In the US, when politicians make certain claims, I see CNN going back and fact check to say, yes, that was true, no, that wasn't true. And how can we allow Dr. Mitchell to get away with things like these? Right? This is what we have to be fact checking and coming up and say yes or no. As a matter of fact, Junior, I'm going to produce some documents to you and all the other media to see exactly what is the truth. Because we need to stop fooling the people. Just speak the truth and say exactly as it is. You know, so on the last note on this, I want to really applaud our Prime Minister because he was instrumental in this. The Caribbean Development Bank, I want to applaud them again. And I want to applaud the UK for having back the confidence in us, right, to give us back this grant funding. And the grant funding was made up of 16 million pounds. And that was for the water expansion project, Southern Water Expansion Project.
Yes.
And that is so important. That will enable places that are suffering for water right now. That will enable them to get water. It's a big project, between 70 million EC dollars.
Yes.
It's not a little bit of money. And we don't have to pay it back, number one. The other part of the other component of the project, which we were not able to get back, was for the Western Main Road. And that was approximately 6 million pounds. And we were not able to get that back, but we were able to get back the big amount, which is the 16 million pounds.
Yes.
So thank God for that. And I want to again thank our Prime Minister for really, taking the lead on this and for putting us back in a position where we can get this money that would benefit Grenada.
Let's take a call. We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Grenada.
Grenada, go right ahead.
Junior, good afternoon, and good afternoon, Mr. Andy Williams, Minister Andy Williams.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm just listening there to that clip of that grant fund that the former prime minister said that the NDC government had lost. Mr. Williams, you should know 2013, the government changed and the NNP government came in and they had a landslide. They won 15 seats. And if that money gave David Cameron gave that money to Grenada. NDC was nowhere wrong. There was nothing government. So that is solely under the NNP government. So the
Exactly.
NDC has nothing to do with that money. So when the former prime minister saying, look what had happened to the money, how we lose out on that money. They lose out on that money, but you don't want to take claim for that.
Exactly.
You blame on somebody else. You know, Junior and Mr. Williams, I am a minister of religion. And it's a shame when you sit back, yes, and you're listening to a former prime minister blatantly lying to the Grenadian public and the school children and everybody. How could one sit down and take that lightly? Something have to be wrong with the opposition leader. And everybody could clearly see that because based on what he had said in a town hall meeting recently, and you have people following him, even these days of science and technology, and every word that I've uttered from your mouth, it is on record. How does that man sleep in the night and his followers? No wonder why Sister Delma, which has a conscience and a God-fearing woman, had to cross the floor. And that's the best thing that Grenada could have ever enjoyed even today. And we must applaud her for that. And there are many more that have been sitting in the opposition seat that need to cross the floor and leave Dr. Mitchell by himself. Let he continue to lie. Junior, I'm listening, but I don't want to listen to this kind of clip that the opposition leader saying that this present administration responsible for. According to Minister Andy, it's just a couple months. The NDC government haven't been sitting there more than a year yet. And why the opposition leader want to blame these little children all about? Come on, how long could we take this thing? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's get it right. We're grateful that the UK have given the people of competent that money again to use for the Grenadian public. And something wrong with the opposition leader. He need to check some psychiatrists. He need to do something very, 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 very soon. And there is much more that the Grenadian public will get to know. Junior, have a good night.
Thank you, caller.
And Mr. Andy.
Thank you so
Right,
much.
good night. But Junior, let me just say this, right?
Yes.
And I want to extend an invitation to the leader of the opposition. Anytime, anywhere. Right? Let's have a discussion on this. Anytime, anywhere. Let's have a discussion on this because I just cannot believe that someone will just stand up in front of a crowd and just lie like that. Hey, let me cool on. Sorry.
I would like to host that conversation because listen, to someone listening, the former prime minister said he spoke with a level of confidence, like if there are real truth to it. Now I know this to be a fact because I went back and I looked at the clip of the former prime minister of the UK when he said it. That's 2014, 2015,
Right.
and anybody with a opposable thumb could go on the computer and search this and find this out. So it's easy to source this. So I'm trying to understand, why would anyone make such an obvious, blatant fib and don't think that the media or someone would at least rebut what he was saying? It's kind of glaring that accusation would be made to his supporters. But the prime minister made a statement today. I want to play back a clip of what the prime minister said. Take a quick listen. There's the current prime minister.
I suspect it will take some more time than I have this afternoon, and some of the issues that will probably happen by then. So we'll be in a position to give a full briefing in relation to the police service next week. I wanted to specifically speak to an issue that the Honourable Andy Williams raised in Parliament, which is the UK CIF grant funding for the infrastructure development projects in Grenada. The UK CIF, which basically is a grant program of the United Kingdom government had agreed to fund 2 projects in Grenada. One, the Western Main Road, and the second one, the Southern Water Expansion Project. When we assumed office, we discovered that both projects were significantly delayed, and that there was a considerable risk that the grant funding will no longer become available. And as you'd appreciate, the UK itself is going through some significant economic and fiscal challenges of its own. And so once we got wind of that, we undertook extensive discussions with the UK representatives as well as the Caribbean Development Bank, because in both cases, the grant funding was only partial funding for the projects. And the CDB, Caribbean Development Bank, was providing the additional funding to make sure we could have complete funding for both. So the CDB has also been integral in that process. And what we sought to do was obviously say to the United Kingdom that notwithstanding their own challenges, given the fact that we had the commitment from them, notwithstanding our own significant delays in implementing the 2 projects, that we felt it was important for us to try and make every effort to try and still secure the funding. And the CDB, I think, also shared that view with us. I'm happy to report that the UK government, through the UK SIF program, has recommitted as of last Friday to making the funds available for the Southern Water Expansion Project. NAWASA has already indicated that once, I think, all goes as planned, the anticipation is that procurement and so on would probably take place in the latter part of 2023. And we'd expect to see actual work begin in 2024. I believe, and the PS could confirm, that the Caribbean Development Bank board is meeting in June. And I believe any formalities that would be required for further confirmation of the CDB part of the funding should be obtained by then. So I want to highlight this because I think a lot has been suggested that somehow this government or this administration is responsible for the loss of the grant funding. As I said, Minister Williams addressed this. That's not the case. None of the projects were frankly in high gear, galloping along when we got into office. And it's unfortunate because clearly if you have grant funding, it is the most favorable type of funding that you get. So you would think that with grant funding, you prioritize that project as opposed to, say, loan funding, which you have to repay. PS, I don't know if you want to add any further details in relation to the project.
Right. So that was earlier today sent to us by the GIS in reference to that particular funding. It's a £16 million for the water expansion program in Grenada. And, you know, initially it was supposed to be, I think, 22 million pounds, but they were able to get that money back. Now, Minister Andy is saying the reason why it was lost in the first place was because of very low implementation, and because of the high implementation and the government basically reiterating the fact that it will be implemented, and they do have an MIT department that's going to ensure this, they were able to get back those funds. And that's applaudable because at the end of the day, benefit not only the NDC, but the NNP. Every single Grenadian would benefit from this project. Minister Andy, are there any other projects that you saw in limbo when the NNP got into power? NDC, sorry, got into power?
I reported on that last budget. You had approximately $100 million in World Bank projects. And in 4 years' time, just a little over 4 years' time, only 13.13 million was used in 4 years' time. We had projects that were on the books with very low implementation rate. So you can say if you use 13 million in 4 years, you have an implementation rate of approximately 4% per year. So basically, that 100 million that is on the books from World Bank, we are in danger of losing some projects, and we would be in danger of losing some projects in the future. Thank God that our Prime Minister had the vision to put in a ministry of MIT, and thank God we have our ministers who see the need to push these projects to ensure that we do not lose funding for them. So I can tell you, one of the projects that was under the Ministry of Tourism and the Prime Minister moved it to MIT was the project on the Fort George, the tourism project,
Yes.
where we are turning that headquarters, the police headquarters, into a tourism site, right?
Nice.
That was on the book since August 2017.
Oh.
And up until we came into office, October last year, the Prime Minister moved the project to MIT. But from August 2017 to September 22, right? Nothing was done on the project. So you're talking about 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. For the last 4 to 5 years, before we came into office in June, right? So let's say 4 to 5 years, nothing was done on the project. And as we speak now, Junior and Grenada, the project is up and running. Because nothing was done, we had to, and listen, I want to thank my ministry as I speak right now. I want to thank Sunrise Construction. I want to thank the Ministry of Tourism, because we had to really do things outside the box to ensure that we meet the deadline for August this year. We basically, with the funding and the project, the deadline is August 2023, August 31st. After that, that will be the latest point where monies can be disbursed for the project. And we have put a work plan in place. We have put a cash flow in place to ensure that we will withdraw the money by August 31st. And we have the company who are actually doing the work on the fort. They are working overtime to ensure that Fort George is being converted to a tourism site. But Fort George is only one component of the project. We have 2 other components of the project. The other component of the project is the underwater sculpture park, where we are going to do improvements to that park. And we will meet the deadline for that part of it. So we are going to meet the deadline for the Fort George and the underwater sculpture park. Then you have the Granatang Shoreline Trail. That's a trail around Granatang. We want to improve that. The project was also aimed at improving that. We will, because of the World Bank stipulation and so and procedures, you have to send things out to tender and wait 2 weeks and all these things. Because of that, we will be able to finish the design for the Granatang Shoreline Trail, but we will not be able to complete the work for the Granatang Shoreline Trail. We will not be able to complete it with the World Bank funding. That means we will have to use our funding to complete it. But again, all these things were supposed to be started in August of 2017. So we have to say, you know, thanks to this new administration that really saw the importance of this. And let me just say something. When the Prime Minister asked MIT to take over the project, immediately we decided to put a meeting in place. In the meeting, we had Lime, Flow, NTRC, the Ministry of Tourism, the RGPF, name it, everyone. Someone from the last administration was there in that meeting. And they said that the reason why the project was not started is because it was impossible. So I just want to reiterate that that project, and it's approximately $7 million US, right? That project had no intention of going anywhere. Right? So, and we are working quick, we are working fast because it's an 18-month project. but we want to finish it in approximately 11 months. We don't know. We are trying because we want it to be part of the 50th anniversary for our independence.
Yes.
That would be the perfect gift for us. That is the site where we have so much history.
Yes.
And on that site, we are going to put a courtyard, we are going to put a bar, we are going to put a museum. You know, it's going to be so just lovely, and all the history where the people were killed. And so, because Junior and Grenada, a lot of our children do not know the history. And you have to, we can't be learning the European history and everyone else's history and not know our history.
True.
And let me just tell you where we want to go, because right now the Ministry of MIT is in talks with the Ministry of Tourism, because you have places like the Morris Bishop residence that people even my age don't know where this building is. And we want to make it, we want to fix it up, keep the historical content, and even make a museum out of it. There are places like Fort Matthew. Right now it's just taken over by Bush. That was a place that was bombed during the revolution time. People were killed there. We have a lot of history there. And what we want to do is to turn around those sites that are now taken over by Bush and do them as tourism sites so that our local people can know and learn of our history, and foreigners can also come in and learn our history. We have Fort Matthew. And on Fort Frederick, my bad, Fort Frederick, right? It looks nice, but there's no historical content there or anything showing you exactly the history of the fort.
Yes.
Again, let's go to St. George's, to the town. Grenada probably have the only town that we have no history, that a tourist can walk through there and not know anything about the town. Also, we have on the QNH Boulevard, you know, that was the first town of Grenada, or that was a town before. We have no history of that. So all these are things that we want to really do and we want to incorporate into the 50th anniversary, you know, of our independence. But I'm saying this is another project again under the last administration that would not have gone anyway, and we would have lost that funding. We have other projects that we are working on, and we are trying to improve the implementation rate of these projects to ensure that when the deadline reaches, that we spend the money and the project can benefit Grenada on a whole. And this is what we want to do. Because again, if you go to ask the World Bank again for more money, the first thing that it will say is that we give you all this money already, you're not spending it, why should we give you more?
True.
So this is what we are focusing on. And we are not getting distracted by the noise, because we understand once you're into politics, there will be noise.
Yes.
And I always tell people, you know, I do not intend to make any enemy over any politics. You can call me, you can say what you want, I still love you, right? Just today, Clarence and I were in Parliament, and we were joking because when Parliament finished, you know, we go up, you know, we eat, we drink, we talk, you know, and it's just a love still, and that's how it should be.
Yes.
And I want to tell everyone that's listening on this live right now, do not make enemies over politics, right? Politics will come and politics will go. Love your brother, love your sister. Do not make a difference of opinion make you hate someone. There's much more to life than that, right? The good book says to forgive and forget, to forgive people, right? And if you understand politics, you will understand that sometimes people are, you know, will try to say things to make themselves look good. As in the clip, they're saying that we lost the funding just to make a particular set of supporters feel okay. But we all know that that is not the truth.
Yeah.
But again, the truth do not have to get any light. The truth in itself is light, and it will come out anyway.
Yeah.
So, and again, we are committed to ensure that we do not lose funding. We have grant money that we got, we lost it, and we made a plea to get it back, and we got it back. And this time, we are going to ensure that we put it into good use. And in Parliament today, while I was talking about the grant funding, Dr. Moses was asking if we got the money already, because she found I was talking with confidence that we got the money and we were going to do things, And my statement was, you know what, we didn't get the money yet, but when we get it, we will ensure that we put it into use so that we do not lose it. And that is what we are about.
Yeah. Someone asked just a while ago there about the David Cameron clip. And I do, in fact, have a clip from David Cameron that's dating back to 2015. And that was when he visited Grenada. Take a quick listen.
Having just made a visit to Jamaica, this is the first time a British Prime Minister has been to the Caribbean for many, many years. And I think it's right to make a visit like this. We have such strong relations and close relations with the Caribbean. Many people of Caribbean origin make an incredible contribution to our country, many British nationals living here in the Caribbean. I've announced on this visit a new £300 million infrastructure fund to help build the infrastructure in these countries, bridges, roads, ports, things that will help them to grow and help them trade with us. I've just seen one of the bridges that desperately needs to be rebuilt, and I'm proud of the fact that with our aid budget and meeting our 0.7% of GDP, this is the sort of thing that Britain can do, rebuilding our relationship with this part of the world where the connections run so deep.
The deadline is August 2020.
Rebuilding our relationship with this part of the world where the connections run so deep.
The deadline is August.
I'm here at a primary school in Grenada, having just made a visit to Jamaica. This is the first time
2020.
Rebuilding our relationship with this part of the world where the connections run so deep.
The deadline is August.
I'm here at a primary school in Grenada.
Right, so that clip was posted in 2015.
Right.
Yes, so you were right.
And we got it funded in 2016.
Right there for everyone to see.
But Junior, the information was published.
And he made that commitment in 2015, and the former administration was in power at this time. So I guess this is a pants on fire moment. And I would like if Dr. Keith Mitchell could come on this platform or any other platform to clarify his statement. Probably there was something else that he said. I don't know. But this is blatant and this is clear, and it's obvious that the administration, NNP administration was in power at this time, and NDC cannot be blamed for losing those fundings over this past 11 months or so. What else is going on you wish to touch on? Delma Thomas, I wanted to touch on that. We saw the actual ceremonial moving over of Delma Thomas today. How important is the Honorable Delma Thomas to the NDC at this point?
Before we touch on Delma Thomas, let me just touch on one more thing.
Yeah.
When I get a Delma. The Simone Bridge. That is the bridge by Pulse there.
Yes.
Now, again, when you have a project and you're dealing with government, you have certain processes that have to take place. So you have to tender the bridge, you have to do an evaluation, you have to send that evaluation down to procurement. Procurement will then give a no objection, and then it will go back to the Ministry of Infrastructure, and then they will issue the contract to the person who won the bid. Right now, the document is in procurement, who are doing the, everything to ensure that they give a no objection, and they will ensure that everything is right. And then we are looking for that to go back to infrastructure for a contract to be issued very soon. So Grenada, you can expect work to be done or to start on the bridge soon. So I mean, it talks about who want to do a petition and all these kind of things, like if we don't want to do work on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And that is from people that knows the process. In the private sector, we can say, let's do this bridge, and tomorrow we do it. That's the private sector. In government, there are certain procedures that must take place. And everyone, no, not everyone, but once you work in government, you will know that. If you work in government, you will know that again. And sometimes that is my frustration with government, because I'm saying, listen, we have to get things done, we have to get things moving. But again, these things were put in place to ensure that controls are maintained.
Yes.
So it served its purpose. So let me just say that the notion that we are neglecting the bridge, or we do not think that the bridge is important, that is false. The bridge will start soon. You just have to go through the process of tendering, evaluating, no objection, back for contract, and the contractor will start to mobilize to start the bridge. So we are committed. We are very committed, as a matter of fact, because we know that that bridge, with it being not functioning, is an inconvenience to the people of St. Andrews. We know that. So we are committed in ensuring that the bridge is sorted out soon. So I'm saying in a matter of weeks, you can see work starting on the bridge. So rest assured. With the Honorable Delma Thomas, even before, the talks are for coming across and so, sometime last year, we were in Parliament, and I was just looking at Delma, trying to figure out, no, that's me, Junior. I try to figure out people, right?
Right.
So I sit down and just look at you, trying to figure you out. And remember, I came from a hotel background, and when you work in a hotel, you are dealing with different guests every day. So you have to know how to deal with your guests. So part of what I do is try to understand people and know how to deal with them. And when I look at Delma, she looked at me and we looked at each other. And when we went for lunch, I said, you know why I was watching or looking at you like that? And I said to her that, I can see that you are a genuine person. And that is when she was on the other side, there were no talks about her coming across the NDC or nothing like that. And I told her that I just believe that she was a genuine person. And I think that's her best quality. Also, I heard that she's a very hard worker. And she's one who understands the ground politics. So I'm happy to have her on our team. And trust me, she feels like if she was there, years ago. And I'm one that's always willing to learn. So I will be, she is in politics longer than I am. So I will be willing to learn as much as I can from her. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about me or you, Junior, or Delma. It's about serving the people of Carriacou, Petite Martinique, and Grenada. And that is what I signed up for. And that is what I will do. So I'm very happy to have her on board. And I can tell you, I will start engaging her. I'll give her a little time just to kind of settle in still. But you will see us on the ground doing stuff. And I can talk for my other colleagues. They are very excited to have her. And we feel comfortable with her being on board. Right? So it's a love and it's a joy. And we are about embracing people. And because at the end of the day, we are here to serve the people of Greater Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And that is what we are committed to do. And she, in my view, have the same intention. So again, Delma, big up yourself.
Yeah.
And hold on, let me just say something.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes as men, in biology, you might say that the men have balls, biology. But sometimes women have more guts than us.
Yeah, true.
And what that step that she made was a very brave step. Because some of us may be scared. For example, you have a woman in an abusive relationship, and she may be scared to leave.
Yes.
But for the woman who leaves, you have to give her credit. And, according to her, you know, it have things that we may not even know or see that she would have been going through. And as I saying, who is in the kitchen, they are the one who feels the heat.
True.
And I can tell you, I have served with our Prime Minister for the last 11 months. And our Prime Minister is a man of respect. He will not use obscenities to anyone. He's a man of respect, a man of integrity, a man who I feel comfortable being the leader of our party. And I told him, I said, listen, you have to be here for the next 20, 30, 40 years. I don't care. And he said, Andy, it's only 2 terms. I said, no. You know, but it's a joy to serve with a man as Honorable Deacon Mitchell. And I'm not just saying that. He's one of the most intelligent person I've known. And, you know, he allows you to be you. You know, he allows you. And I even told him back in the campaign, I said, listen, in the campaign, people were shouting, Andy, Laco. And he was giving us the freedom, you know, to do our thing. Not in any way saying or feeling that we are taking some of the, you know,
Right.
the crowd. And that's how confident he is as an individual. So you have to really applaud that. And one thing again, when our leaders say that he will do something, he stick to his word. He say pension. Dock salaries. Bi-monthly. Right? Now, some may argue about the contract. But we know what we are doing. And he has a plan. And very soon, you see, you can't do everything, Junior, in one day.
Right.
Even God created the earth and put everything on this earth in 6 days, and he rested on the 7th day. So we have to just be a little patient. And what I want people to do is to judge us by what we say we will do. So when the next election comes, put out your grade book, right? And start grading us. And this is what we should be doing to really judge our politicians. Not by you just liking a man and just going with anything that he sees. Right? We should start measuring and allowing the politicians to really, you know, be accountable for what they say they will do.
Yes. Accountable.
Right. And that's taking it to the next step. Something not because we like him and we just say, yeah, anything that Junior do, he's right. No, he can be wrong too.
True.
And if Junior say he's going to do something, do it. And that's why, Junior, I try to work as hard as I can in my constituency. I get, no, listen, sometimes people will reach out to me and I really don't get a chance to respond back. And I'd always tell them sorry because I'm getting so much messages, so much calls every day. People from my constituency, people from outside my constituency. I still have a ministry to run. But, Junior, I try my best to see how I can be of service to the people because when I signed up for this job, that is what it was all about. People.
Yes.
You know, so, and that is why, you know, I'm always out because I want to make a difference in my constituency and in Grenada. When the 4 years pass or the 4.5 years pass, and I go back to the voters, they're supposed to be satisfied with my performance.
Yeah.
And to me, that is a big deal for me. So I try to make myself accessible to people. I try to be as simple as I can. The smallest man on the street can reach out to me. As a matter of fact, let me talk about this. There's a gentleman by the name of Joshua Bartholomew. He came to my office about 2 weeks ago. And when he came, he was like, you know, he wanted a help to go to college. And Junior, he came with a piece of slippers, short pants, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can easily, or you could easily take him for granted. But I've learned in customer service, never take anyone for granted. And when I spoke to him, he had a certificate from NULO. But he said, my father died and my mother died. And this is a gentleman that was not coming for a handout. He was saying he wanted to go back to school. So I said, okay, if you're that serious, he showed me his certificate from NULO. I said, well, all right, but no problem. Tuesday, let's go to college and get registered. And when I showed up in college, the joy on his face was so much. I had to tell him, take it easy, stop smiling, hold on, walk slower, because he was so excited. And this photo that you have up, Junior, I posted it on social media because let me tell you why. And again, let me address this. Sometimes we tend to share all the negatives, the vulgarity on social media. And the majority of us do not have a problem with it. We say nothing about it. But when someone posts something like this, Junior, this is something positive. And because of this picture right here, people reach out, even from the US to find out how can they get something for Joshua. And I met a lady in Carriacou and she told me Joshua history. When he was born. And so, he had a medical condition where, I don't want to talk about it, but it was not easy for him. It was not easy for him, Junior, I'm telling you. And when you hear, when I post him up, the amount of positive stories I got on this gentleman here, you would think a gentleman that is kind of poor, and so you will hear bad things about him. I've not heard one bad story about this gentleman. And I'm saying Grenada, the diaspora, everyone, whatever we can do to help Joshua, let's do it to help him. I am committed. But there are more Joshuas in our communities that we can reach out and assist. Not only maybe the politician, but everyone as a community. So sometimes when we sit down here, bad mouthing Junior, bad mouthing this and bad mouthing that, we should try and see how we can get involved in our communities to help people.
Yes.
At the end of the day, when we leave this earth, we are not going with anything. We come with nothing, and we will return with nothing. The only thing that we can do is to help who we can help while we are on this earth, Junior. And I'm going kind of off track, but I think it's for a purpose, because even when I had a hotspot, my main goal, and I always said that, was not to make a profit. When I see a man come in and he can buy groceries for his family, that was my joy. So sometimes people will come in and shop and they short money. I tell them, go with it. That was my joy, that I could contribute to people's lives. I grew up in a shop where we sold alcohol and goods and so on. And I see when people come at the end of the month, the whole salary went into drinking, into drinks. And that's why even in hotspot, I hardly sell any big set of alcohol. Because for me, I want to see a man work, come and shop, and go home and feed his family. It's about people. And that's why for me, politics was such an easy transition, because it's still about people. So I just want to say that, hats off to Joshua, and I try my best to assist everyone and anyone. If someone reaches out to me and I don't respond, it's because genuinely it's just so much to deal with that I didn't get to see it, at the point in time. But again, if you are listening and you reach out to me and you did not get a response, just reach out again and reach out again.
Yeah.
I will see it and I will respond to it. Right? And you don't have to be from the south. You can be from anywhere. And I'll try my best to see how I can offer assistance to you.
Yeah. Listen, this whole story here is so touching, so moving, right? And I appreciate you. Forget the politics, because I remember the first time we did work together, you was not even in politics. It was COVID. And my producer said, we need to get some baskets to people that's in need. And it was never about politics. I didn't even know you had any aspiration to be in politics. And she said, contact Andy, this is what it's going to cost, and let's get some packages. And when we send that monies to you, you even give us more. So if we bought 10, you give us like 20 packages, and we were able to give 20 families baskets during COVID. And I got to say thanks to you. So I know where your heart lies. I know you not as a politician. I know you as a people person. There are some people, Only when election time come, they kissing babies and they cooking food and they killing 10 pig. Only during election. And when they out of power or when they're not about politics, they walking and passing you straight like a full bus. But I know your heart. I know that that is not you. And I have to applaud you because from both sides, you are getting bipartisan support. People are saying, I don't support NDC or I don't support this political party, but Andy's the hardest working person. Andy makes sure the job gets done. And I have to applaud you, my brother. Nothing about politics. It's about where your heart is, and people can see your heart. And I have to applaud you for that hard work and dedication to people, not politics. And stay that way. You're going to be very successful. I believe you're going to be very successful in life and whatever endeavor you plan to do going down the road. Nobody could break you. Nobody could break you if you have that kind of heart. I got to applaud my brother. Thank you so much for even taking the time to come and chat with us here. And I know you have a busy schedule. Any last word you want to say before we wrap up?
Well, I just want to thank your viewers for tuning in and for listening to this segment. I know we spoke about politics and we talk about a lot of other things, and that's good. And I want to just implore to Grenadians that, let's be our brother's keeper. Let's look out for each other. And let's just let love flow through this island. Our administration is really bent on making a difference. We are bent on bringing transformation to this country. And, but I want to applaud the gentleman, or let me just talk about Carriacou for a minute, because the Honorable Tevin Andrews is doing an excellent job in Carriacou. Just go on Facebook, Junior, of viewers, and look. He is on the ball. The Windward Center that he's doing now. Now, let me just explain something. From the budget, we will have an implementation matrix where we have all projects that are supposed to be started at a certain time and end at a certain time. And the Honorable Tevin Andrews is on top of his game. Everything that the matrix said that he will do, he is on top of it, and he is in front of schedule. So I want to say to Tevin Andrews, continue the hard work. In terms of implementation, you're on the ball, right? And I want to tell all my other cabinet colleagues, not just that they are not on the ball, but Tevin is really doing an excellent job. And I want to just say, give credit where credit is due. Junior, we in our cabinet, we are a team, and this team have a special bond. Let me just say this again. This team have a special bond, and it's all love. And we want to thank our Prime Minister for putting us together, and I think God had a part to play. No, I think God had a part to play in this. So we are committed as a government in pushing our agenda, transformation agenda, and it's all for the benefit of the country. We may not do everything perfect, but just know that we have the country's best interests at heart. And again, I want to thank all my constituents. The Guidance Court will be starting tomorrow. I was on the contractor because it's supposed to start 2 weeks ago. And I say, boss man, we have to get this court started. We have a road in Lansapine that will be starting just now. We have a road in Montu that will be starting just now. Right, and I was out today looking at more projects to be started again. And because I cannot make Carriacou or do the South have to lead. Exactly. So it's just a love and a joy. So again, thanks everyone for having me, and Junior, thank you for having me also.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And guys, if you want to call, I'll give you guys about two more minutes. If you could stick around, let me take a quick commercial break, guys. And if you want to call and speak to Honorable Andy, you have 2 minutes to call. The number on the screen, 718-701-5720. Let's take a quick commercial break. And if you get a call after that, we'll take it. We'll be right back.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more or free plays. With multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
LMG Committee presents a classical and royal night, Little Mr. and Miss Grenada 2023, taking place on Saturday, May 27 at the Grenada Trade Center. 7 princesses and 5 princes will grace the stage. Starting time, 6 p.m. sharp. Tickets, adults 30, children 20. Music by DJ Blackstorm. Special guest appearance by local acts and full-time Grenada groovy Monarch Dash.
Put your glasses up to the sky. If you feel to cry, you could cry. Everybody have the tough time. Sometime all it takes is one line.
Come out and support our future stars. It will be a night of splendor to remember. So get your tickets early at the Grenada Trade Center, Grenadian Optical on Melville Street and in the Spiceland Mall, BG's Restaurant and Bar, Pineapple Marketing and Communication in St. Andrew, and Shi's Bar in Victoria. Or call us on telephone number 425-0624-403-0411 or 416-3881. The night will be fine like wine. So, see you there.
Again, guys, if you guys like about a minute left. So if you want to call, you have a minute left before we let the minister leave. But it was definitely a great conversation, guys. We urge you, and we urge everyone, guys. Social media is a crazy place. Lies and propaganda flying all over the place. Everywhere you're turning, some set of, somebody trying to belittle someone or creating meme to attack someone. Listen, this is not what it's about, right? This is not what it's about. We always say that let us debate. If there are difference of opinions, if there are difference of ideas, let us talk about it. Let us have a vigorous debate, and at the end of the day, we could all say, you know what? Yes, I stand strong on my point, and you stand strong on your point. Let's agree to disagree, and let's move forward. We don't have to hate each other, right? And I encourage all my followers and friends, don't see the person that you disagree with as an enemy, because that's not what they are. They are Grenadians, just the same, who have a difference of opinion, a difference of vision, right? They might support a different political organization. That doesn't make them an enemy, okay? All right, guys. So, okay, no calls. So let's release the minister. Thank you so much, Minister Andy Williams. We appreciate you. We'll keep in touch.
Yes, thank you.
All right. A little bit of allergies there, boy. Guys, we'll be right back.
Co-op Bank introduces e-payments, our new e-banking feature that allows you to send wire transfers on the go to anywhere in the world. E-payments, the swift, simple, and secure way of transferring money.
Right Along Live, brought to you with the kind compliments of Amazing Colors, guys. Play Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. Packages still available for Monday Night Mass for Amazing Colors. Call right or go to the website at mnngrenada.com. That's mnngrenada.com. Get your packages tonight and be a part of the biggest and the best Monday Night Mass band in Grenada for Spice Mass. It's all about Amazing Colors. Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. Also, Jabbing Colors. So we have Juve and Monday Night Mass. Get your packages tonight at mnngrenada.com. Yeah, click that link right there. That link. That's the link. Click that link, guys. Let me also say that Bingo, Riders Bingo is back. Riders Bingo is back, guys. I'll announce the date tomorrow, but tickets go on sale tomorrow self, tomorrow self. And we're doing a $1,500 bingo. $1,500. Tickets, $10 get you 3 tickets. $10 get you 3 tickets. $20 get you 5 virtual bingo tickets. $1,500 US up for grabs. Riders Bingo is back. Yeah. Riders Bingo is back. Yeah, man, get some nice little cash in your pocket. Remember, $10 get you 3 bingo tickets. $20 get you 5 bingo tickets. Yeah. I'm happy. Happy. We had some problems with the software system, but it was fixed. We're good to go. Riders Bingo is back. Yeah. Also, guys, we gotta big up the 4th annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant happening at J-Loft, 1055 East 45th Street, Brooklyn, New York. That's on the 25th of June. Doors open at 4 p.m. Show time is 6 p.m. The 4th annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant. Tickets, early bird tickets gone already, But now you can get your tickets for $50. Advance tickets, take $50 until the 25th. So just now, the $50 ticket will be done. Then you got to get the general admission tickets for $60 more at the door. It's the 4th annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant. Don't miss this one. You can't afford to miss this one. DeVille, the Hitman Inspector, Keisha Martin, plus a host of other surprises and guests. Guys, if you want to advertise on Ride Along Live, you have a business and you want to send your business viral. I'm talking about exposing your business to over 4 million. Let me show you guys this. I wonder if I could pull this up, guys. Because when I say this, you guys, a lot of people don't quite understand that excitement that I feel, right? Expose your business. Let me show you guys this. Real raw numbers. You ready? I never show anybody this before, right? But this is real raw numbers behind the scenes stuff. You see that? 4.9 million. 4.9 million reach within the last 28 days. You can't get better than that. Expose your business to almost 5 million people. We're talking CNN and MSNBC kind of numbers, guys. We have been really doing great on this platform. So expose your business to almost 5 million viewers on the ride. Yes, on the ride. Advertise on Ride Along Live. Okay, inbox us for more information. Gotta say thanks to all of our sponsors, our viewers, our producer, executive producer Lois JJ, the hardest working person on the team. She always makes sure that I am tip-top shape, feeding me with all the information that we need. Also to our moderators, the hardest working moderators on social media. I'm talking about Kibbs, Gail, and Deanne Fraser, hardest working moderating team in the business. Thank you guys for making my job a whole lot easier. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you again tomorrow. Mañana. So guys, don't forget, Monday Night Mass with Amazing Colors. We ain't playing with nobody else. Amazing Colors. Everybody go be there. Even Andy go be implementing some Monday Night Mass thing over on that section too. I got drop a package off for Minister Williams. Yeah, because you have to play a mass too. You can only work hard, right? Everybody inside Amazing Colors. Jabbing color for Juve. He gonna be mad sick. Catch you guys tomorrow. Good night.
When your choice, class, and taste says luxury, visit JTS Luxury Home. With our spring into summer sale, all overstocked items must go. We stock a wide assortment of modern furniture, bedding, and home decor. The sale runs into midsummer or while stocks last. JTS Luxury Home, 467 Thomas Boylan Street, between Pitkin and East New York Avenue in Brooklyn, where opulence meets affordability.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
The best time I have for Spice Mass is plain mass with amazing colors. I love amazing colors. Always spectacular. Always amazing. Always amazing.
Sinner made a bang.
Or the funding itself.
Thank you, Prime Minister, and good morning to the press, and of course, good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon to the listening public. Just a footnote, just to confirm that in November of last year, 2022, the UK government in fact did write. They wrote indicating that the reason for the withdrawal, quote unquote, of the funds is the protracted delay of the projects, as well as some of the issues that they were facing with respect to uncertainty about the aid program. And as PM confirmed, we recently received a letter reconfirming 16.4 million of the funds of the 22.22 million thereabout, which was initially committed for the South St. George water expansion project. Now, based on the last estimate for that project, that amount will cover, should cover, in fact, the cost of the project. On the Western Corridor project, where the balance of the funds would have been committed to, and that's where the government was seeking additional support from the Caribbean Development Bank to be able to carry on that project. Of course, those discussions are ongoing with respect to how we can continue to facilitate that project. With respect to, as I said, some of the bridges, some of the road expansion, fixing some of the hairpin bridges and so on that corridor. So I'll stop here. Thanks.